Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another meal prep slash batch cooking video. I personally am a huge fan of meal prepping due to the fact that it saves so much time, money, and it just gives you back your afternoons and your evenings with your families. This video is intended to give you guys some inspiration and motivation to get in the kitchen and meal prep for yourself and your family. Let's jump in the kitchen and see what we're cooking this week. All right, so this meal prep, we are going to start out with a keto egg loaf recipe. This is the first time I've ever made this, so this is a brand new recipe for me. The recipe I originally found only took 3 ingredients, but I did add some of these ingredients on my own. So you want to melt 4 tablespoons of butter, and then you want to measure out 8 ounces of cream cheese. So I just got out my food scale and I measured the cream cheese with that. And then I melted the butter in the microwave. And then after you add the cream cheese, you are going to want to add 8 eggs. And my daughter is helping me out again. Amazing. She's such an amazing kid. But once I put those 3 ingredients together, I just went in with my hand mixer and I mixed everything really well together. And then I go in with the ingredients that I added myself. So once it was nice and creamy, I added 1 teaspoon of baking powder, as well as a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 tablespoon of monk fruit. And I just wanted to give it a little bit more flavor because it definitely seemed a little dull as far as the ingredients that they added themselves. And then I just took some avocado oil and I spread that out through my loaf pan so that way it would not stick, even though it did still stick a little bit. I really need to buy the avocado spray again because I feel like that works better. And I just poured the batter. The batter will be really runny, and as you see, there was a little bit of residue at the bottom. That's okay. I just threw that in there as well. Preheated my oven to 350 degrees. Then it says to bake this for only 15 to 30 minutes. Mine took much longer than that. It took like 45 minutes because the middle was like jello if I would have taken it out that soon. But you add the French toast toppings to this and it was delicious. It'll be in the description box below if you guys want to try it. I'm also going to prep some bacon this week. Not going to do anything fancy with it. Just going to prep bacon so that way we have it during the week to eat on if we want it. I am going to be doing carnivore this week, so bacon's always a great meal prep option for that. So I just lined my trays with foil. I put the bacon right on top of there and I bake them at 400 degrees for around 20 minutes. You can do it as long as you want. It depends on how crispy you guys like yours, but that's how we like ours. And as you see, my daughter was making a burger with it. So delicious, and you can use it for anything. We love our bacon in this house. Next up, we are going to be making burgers. So that is about, I think, 10 burgers there. And this is going to be a great lunch option for us. I am going to season it with that Tony seasoning. And I just cook it right in my electric skillet. It does an amazing job for burgers. And the only problem is you can only cook 4 at a time. With a grill, I could probably do them all at the same time. But you know what? It is what it is. They were delicious either way. Again, my daughter's helping me out. Amazing kid. So thank you to Celine. That is what the finished product looked like. Delicious, healthy meal for lunches. Next up, I am going to be making a sausage, cauliflower, veggie type dish. So those are the ingredients I'm going to be using. I just cut up my peppers, cleaned out the inside of them, and then I'm just chopping them with my chopper. I will have this chopper in the description box below. This is my favorite chopper. It does an amazing job, and it just dices those stinkers up just like that. I love that chopper. I got it for Christmas. Same thing with that onion. I'm only using around 1/4 of an onion. Onions are a little bit higher in carbs, so keep that in mind if you're using an entire onion. But I just chopped that with my chopper as well. And then once all that is chopped, I am going to saute that in a pan with a little bit of avocado oil. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just sprinkling the bottom of that pan with some avocado oil. Again, gonna saute those vegetables up before I add everything else, just because if I don't, I'm afraid that the vegetables are gonna be a little bit too crispy. Then I am just going to use this Sam's Choice sausage. That sausage is delicious. It has clean ingredients. I'm just going to chop that into bite-sized pieces just like that. And I'm going to add that to the veggie mixture in the pan as well. And I'm just going to saute the sausage up with the vegetables as well. And then we are going to add the rest of the ingredients. This dish was really good. Not anything spectacular, just a simple, easy sausage and vegetable dish that I just kind of threw some stuff in a pan together. But again, it's so good, so healthy, and it will fill your belly. And then I just took that cauliflower rice. That is the cauliflower rice that I get at Costco. And those bags are microwavable bags. So I did microwave it for 5 minutes before I put it into the mixture with the sausage and the vegetables. I sauteed all that together, and then I did go ahead and add seasoning. The only seasoning I did use is the Tony seasoning, so I sprinkled a little bit of that on there. But when you go in with the seasoning using sausage, because sausage is a little bit salty as well, I like to go in with the seasoning and then taste it to make sure I'm not adding too much, so that way it's not too overbearing with the salt. But that was the end product. Holy guacamole, was that delicious. That was definitely a hit between Oscar and I, especially because the kids aren't big pepper people. Next up, I am going to be making some marinara mozzarella crockpot chicken. And then I'm only going to use about half of that chicken for that dish. And then the other half I'm just going to cook up so that way everybody can just eat on it. But I threw about 4 pieces of chicken in the bottom of that crock pot. You don't need any liquids at all. I'm going to cook that on low for probably around 4 to 6 hours. Once it is finished, I do drain all of that liquid at the bottom of the crock pot, and I place the chicken back in there because we don't want the marinara to be too runny. I threw about a half a jar of that marinara in there, and then I smothered that in mozzarella cheese. This is a huge family favorite of my family's. Holy cow, every time I make this, everybody gets so excited. But that is what it looks like when it is finished, and that goes so quick in my house. I cannot keep that in my house. I haven't made it in a while, so when everybody found out I was making that, they were so excited. But it's definitely delicious and easy. Then with the rest of the chicken, I'm just going to season it up with that Tony's seasoning. My family is in love with that seasoning. And I'm cooking that in my electric skillet. Super simple, easy peasy. Once it's done, I let them cool, throw them in a container, and then super easy to just grab and go. You could even throw a side salad with that, which is what we do a lot of times because it's easier. Next up, I'm going to be cooking, this is almost 2 pounds of ground beef. I am going to be making an enchilada casserole. This is delicious. If you have not tried making an enchilada casserole, it tastes just like enchiladas, but so much easier doing it in a casserole form. So in the meat mixture, I am going to add some cream cheese, cilantro, diced chilies, and I'm going to be using that red enchilada sauce for the topping. Once the meat is finished, I did drain off the fat, and then we are going to be using these egg thins with cauliflower egg thins, Crepinis, as the tortilla shell. I don't really care for those too much by themselves, but using them for enchiladas, it's really good. So I used about 8 ounces of cream cheese, probably around a half a bunch of cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you could just leave it out, no big deal. And I also did throw in that can of green chilies, and I am just going to use some avocado oil, so hopefully they don't stick, which they did not, so that was perfect. And then I'm just going to line the Crepini tortillas, I guess, at the very bottom of that casserole dish, and I threw around 6 of those down. Then I went ahead and added half of that meat mixture. I'm going to do half on this layer, and then I'm going to do a second layer. And then the same thing with the enchilada sauce. I threw about half of that jar on top of that. You don't have to have that much sauce if you don't like it that saucy. Now I'm just going to add the second layer. So this did take around a pack and a half of those crepini wraps. And once I got the second layer on, I did layer the very top with some more crepinis, and then I put on the very tip top some more enchilada sauce as well as some cheese. You can use whatever cheese you want. I only had mozzarella at the time. Preheated my oven to 400 degrees. I just baked that until it was nice and melty and a tad bit golden brown. Huge, huge hit, you guys. If you're missing enchiladas, if you're missing Mexican food, you don't have to. Delicious. This is 8 servings in this one casserole dish. Pair that with some cauliflower Spanish rice and it's delicious. Next up, I'm going to be making some soup in the Instant Pot. I'm using chicken thighs. The chicken thighs that I'm using are from Costco. They were actually frozen. Those are the chicken thighs that I'm using. The Instant Pot is perfect if you did not have time to thaw out whatever it is that you are cooking, because it does an amazing job. So I just put the chicken thighs in there for around 35 minutes. I let them cook. That did thaw them out. Obviously, they're not done, but that is okay. No big deal, because when we add the rest of the ingredients, they'll finish cooking. I'm going to put in there some of that Kettle on Fire bone broth. That stuff is so delicious. I will have it in the description box below if you guys are interested in checking that out. But those are vegetables that I cut up from last week. It is cabbage and Brussels sprouts. Those are the only vegetables I'm going to put in there with that chicken. And then, of course, some seasonings as well. So I am adding that bone broth in there, as well as the vegetables. And it looks like there's not enough liquid in there, but you know what? Once everything starts cooking down, it turned out just fine. So I added some black pepper, some Italian seasoning, garlic powder, and some salt. And that's it for the seasonings. Kept it super simple. Place your Instant Pot on sealing. And then I went ahead and cooked this soup in there for around another 15 minutes. And it turned out really good. So good. Definitely has that bone broth flavor. So if you're not a big bone broth person, I don't know if you'll like this, but we loved it. We love this type of thing, and bone broth is so healthy to add to your diet. So definitely consider adding it in. Nothing like having some warm soup on a chilly day, for sure. Arizona does not have that many chilly days ahead of them. Next up, we are going to be making lemon pound cake. This is a brand new recipe, so I will have this in the description box below. So the first thing I am going to add, actually my daughter's helping me out again. She has really been a huge help, and she's beginning to really have a love for cooking. So that's an amazing thing. We also added a half a cup of confectioner's erythritol, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, just a pinch of salt, and then we are going to measure out 3.5 ounces of full fat cream cheese. And again, the cream cheese is at room temperature. It just makes it easier. And then we're also going to add in 4 tablespoons of coconut oil. We did not melt ours, and it turned out just fine. But if yours is a little bit clumpy, you may want to consider melting it before you add it. Again, this is a brand new recipe. The only thing I would do different in this recipe is I would add lemon zest to really make the lemon pop. But this cake was delicious. It was moist. It was not dry at all. So delicious. I'll have it in the description box below. We did add 4 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of lemon extract, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and again, it did say zest is optional. Celine opted out as far as the zest goes. However, I do think that the zest is kind of a must in my personal opinion. If you like a lighter lemon flavor, then don't add the zest. But if you want your lemon to pop, I would definitely add that zest. We just lined a loaf pan with parchment paper and we put the batter in there, and that's how we cooked it. Just so much easier, easier cleanup, easier to get the bread out of the pan, and in my opinion, parchment paper is the only way to go. That stuff is life in the kitchen. So you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and we're going to bake this for around 40 minutes. And you want the top to be kind of golden brown, and that's exactly how long this took. It took 40 minutes. And look how beautiful that looks. We are going to make the icing now. Super easy peasy as far as the icing goes. We're going to throw in that bowl 1/4 cup of confectioner's erythritol. We used Swerve. And then you also want to add 1 tablespoon of almond milk. And again, I would probably add lemon zest to that as well, because like I said, I love the lemon flavor. I want that lemon flavor to pop in my mouth. I mean, I like a strong lemon flavor. So I think zest would just make this so much better, but it was delicious. I definitely highly recommend this recipe, especially if you're not real big on a ton of frosting on the top. That glaze was perfect. All right, y'all, so before I end this video, I did want to throw this out there because this is such a good deal. And if you guys want to try perfect keto, now is the time for sure. Right now, I will have a link in the description box below with a code where if you buy one, you're going to get 40% off of your second one. So it's basically buy one, get one, 40% off. Huge, huge savings. Definitely a big deal. So for sure, now is the time to buy if you guys want to give anything a try. So this sale includes everything on their website. Buy one, get one, 40% off. And they do sell the keto bars. So the birthday cake one is really good. Cinnamon roll's good. Honestly, every single one of them I've tried is really good. The salted caramel is good. I've tried the chocolate chip cookie dough. That one's really good. This one I have not tried yet, but I'm doing carnivore this week, so I won't try this one till probably next week. But none of their bars have ever let me down. Honestly, if I were to say what my absolute favorite is, I would have to say birthday cake and the salted caramel are my absolute favorite. But everybody's taste buds are different, so obviously your favorite may be different than my favorite. And then as far as the collagen shakes, I am doing this unflavored one right now just for the fact that I am doing carnivore. So the days that I do carnivore, the unflavored is perfect. The chocolate I have not tried yet. They kindly just sent me this one. I will probably try this one next week, so stay tuned and I'll give you a review on this one. I can't imagine it not being good because, like I said, everything of theirs I have tried is absolutely amazing. Has not let me down. And then they also sent me this vanilla MCT powder, so I'm excited to give that a try. And then they also have nut butters. They have keto nut butters. This is macadamia vanilla. I haven't tried this one. So this one consists of macadamia nuts, cashew, coconut, vanilla, and MCT oil. So I have tried 3 of their other nut butters. I've tried their snickerdoodle, which is my favorite nut butter. Oh my goodness, it is delicious. I've tried I think it's almond butter and jelly one. Oh my goodness, that one's delicious as well. And then I've also tried the chocolate hazelnut. That one is good as well. Then another collagen that I really like, this one's actually my husband's absolute favorite. He loves this and it is so good. You mix this with the salted caramel K-cup. Oh boy, you got yourself a great cup of coffee right there. But the salted caramel one is really good as well. So I just wanted to make sure I threw that out there because I definitely want you guys to get in on this deal if you are interested. Again, it's buy one, get one 40% off. If you want to try any one of their products, now's the time. All right, y'all, so that is the end of this week's meal prep. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys like this type of video, if you could do me a favor and give it a huge thumbs up. Also, if you're not part of my YouTube family, go ahead and smash that subscribe button because I would love to have you as part of my Simply Misty family. Another thing too, follow me on Instagram. I will have the link in the description box below. Follow me down there. Tag me in what you're meal prepping. Tag me if you've tried any of these recipes and you enjoy them. I love to see and hear what you guys are meal prepping, and I love to see and hear your thoughts on the recipes that I have tried or created. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys, and don't forget to go out there and make today even better than yesterday, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.
On my own, but I don't know why you hit the road, but you don't realize I won't look back when you're around. I won't think twice when